Well, the simple answer is yes, it is, because story is king. It wouldn't matter if you're filming on an iPhone 3GS. As long as you've got a compelling story, then people are going to watch it. But in this video, I want to give you a couple of tips when shooting with your iPhone to get the very best out of it. For this video, I'm going to be talking about the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but all of these tips should translate to most other iPhones. So let's talk about audio. People are very likely to watch a video that's got bad picture and amazing audio over a video that's got amazing picture but terrible audio. Which means we should focus a lot of our efforts on audio when we're shooting with an iPhone. Now, the internal microphones on an iPhone aren't terrible, but there is a problem I've noticed with them. The iPhone actually has 3 microphones on it, and that's great when you're on the phone because it means that people can hear you very clearly no matter how you hold the phone. And it also depends on if you're holding the phone like this or you're holding the phone like this, you're going to get really crisp audio. But the problem is, it quite often swaps between them mid-recording. And this can mean you go from a high quality microphone in the right position to a microphone that's not quite in the right position, and then it'll jump back again and it just doesn't sound great. Now, the obvious choice would be to use something like AirPods because they've got a microphone in them. But Apple decided to not make them work with the default camera app. The only way to get it to work is to use an app like Filmic Pro or Movie Pro. Both of these apps allow you to use the microphone in your AirPods to record video. The problem with this, however, is, dare I say it, the microphone's not very good. Honestly, the best results I think you can get are with the Apple wired headset where it's got a microphone in the volume control. Failing that, you could use something like the Rode Wireless Go 2 to record your audio either directly into the camera or straight onto the device. You just have to sync that audio up in post, which might be a bit of a pain. Something else you can do with the Filmic Pro app, this video is not sponsored or associated with Filmic Pro in any way, it's just a really good app that I found yesterday. You can select the microphone that you want to use, so it won't swap microphones during the recording, which makes it a lot easier to control. The other problem with the native camera app is it's also got auto gain. Now, auto gain is lovely when you're trying to send a WhatsApp video to your family, but when you're trying to create a long YouTube video, it can turn into a real pain because different clips will be at different volumes and then you're going to have to manually adjust each clip's volume to make them all match up. And if you want to add compressor or EQ, then you're going to have to do that manually to every clip as well. It's just going to take you a really long time. Again, the Filmic Pro app allows you to manually set your input. What I'm saying is you should probably be using the Filmic Pro or the Movie Pro app when you're recording video because it just gives you so much more control. Clean your camera lens on your phone, preferably not with a t-shirt, maybe with a lens cloth or a glasses cloth. I can't tell you how many times I've filmed video with my phone only to realize later that my lens was absolutely filthy and my video kind of looked like this. Just stay on top of it. If you put your phone in a pocket which has also got a jam sandwich in it, then when you take it out, give it a wipe. Next up, your phone will by default come out of the box filming in 1080p. And again, 1080p for WhatsApp, for Facebook, for Instagram, absolutely fine. As soon as you start making YouTube videos, you probably want the flexibility of shooting in 4K. If your phone does shoot 4K, then you want to enable it by going to your settings, searching for the camera app, selecting it, and when you go to record video, you want to set that to 4K, and the frame rate will depend whether you want to shoot in PAL or NTSC, depending on where you live. Next up, let's talk about lighting. Now, lighting is super important when you're shooting with any kind of iPhone because they have very small sensors in them, so they need a lot of light to get the very best image quality. So this is now my iPhone camera, and you can see it's kind of all over the place, and that's because there's loads of really bright sections in the studio and there's loads of quite dark sections, and it's struggling to find the correct exposure. Again, an app like Filmic Pro will allow you to control that exposure much better, but it's still not perfect. If you're able to shoot outside, then just do it. If you're not, then try and get a lot of natural light into the space you're shooting in. Have the camera near the window shooting in and have your subject facing that window. You should get some nice results. The great thing about shooting with an iPhone is you know that your exposure is going to be pretty good. You know that your autofocus is going to be spot on most of the time. The audio levels are going to be great. And If you own an Apple Watch, you can actually use said Apple Watch to start and stop recording and monitor your video feed remotely. That's one of my favorite things about shooting with an iPhone. My last tip is you should probably get yourself one of these. This allows you to mount your phone on a tripod, which will make your productions feel that much more professional, so you can stand and talk to the camera instead of always be hand-holding it. I hope you found some of those tips helpful. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you've always been debating about whether you should be shooting on an iPhone or a camera, then why not watch this video where I talk about my favourite camera under £500. Thanks for watching, I'll see you again really soon.